You don't have to stop talking now that we're live. It's fine.
Oh,
I don't even know. Am I? Yeah, I'm on the Wi-Fi.
okay.
I don't even know where I'm gonna put this or anything, so do a quick hello. Hi, Thunderheads, Lady Susan here. Happy New Year! It's 2019 here in the KZUM studios. We've got some musicians coming in here, and very shortly we're gonna have a live on-air jam session here in the station. If you are an Irish musician and you would like to join us and you live in Lincoln, call the studio, 402-474-5086 extension 1 before you show up so we can make sure someone can let you in. Don't message me because my phone is doing this recording right now and I will not get any of your messages for the next hour. So sit back, relax, enjoy. There's going to be some technical stuff really quick while I figure out the best place to put this. We tried to use the webcam and it didn't exactly work. So I think we're going to try this piano where the webcam was originally going to go. Isn't that great? So Alicia's watching, Josh.
Oh.
Say hello.
Hi, honey.
Hey. All right, let's see if we can set this up. It'd be really nice if our mannequin was kind and like just, you know, held everything up for us. Well, my little prop stand is very wobbly, like, and low. See how low that is? So it'd be nice if we could have.
I can even try around.
Okay, move for a second. I just want to see what the angle is.
I love that song.
This is one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's good enough. You should be able to see everything. Okay, so you should be able to see everything. Hopefully you can hear everything too. Let us know. We'll have the web stream up on our computer, but we are going to be busy, so we might not be able to read everybody's messages. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to try to leave this up for the next, well, indefinitely after we're done going live. So sit back, relax, and enjoy, and this is what a session is like. No, it's not what a session is like. We do, usually the live traditional sessions don't have a radio show happening at the same time, but it's a taste of what a session is like. So enjoy and Happy New Year.
I wanted to play this and, well, let me see.
Oh no, did you get a bill?
Yeah, there was, I can take it.
Was this water or something else?
Ah.
Okay, cool.
Helps if I tune.
Yeah, some of the chairs are janky, and they might not be so there's a bench right there you can try. There's a chair out there, and let me show you armless chair. Here, what would you prefer? One without arms? Well, I need it way shorter. Let's see if we can find something shorter for you. Putting that like on the back, the drink on the back table or on the floor.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I have guitar. We need. I'm gonna be doing some major juggling. What is this for? Oh, for the game. I was like, what is one? This is better.
It's my bride.
Yeah, I was like, Jennifer, if you wish to make a donation, don't put it in my name. It's very thoughtful. Oh, no. Did I give you guys one yet? Oh, this is cute. Ain't Christmas. Merry Christmas. And anybody say Happy Christmas. That's it, Mom.
Yeah.
The first time I heard that song, I was living in my parents' basement. And
I live in my parents' basement.
And I since like the
Oh, yeah,
advent of YouTube.
yeah.
And somebody had uploaded a video of Buddy McMaster playing at the Gaelic College in St. Anne's in Cape Breton Island. And he started a set with that and then just this past October, I was in Cape Breton Island.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I walked into where one of the jam sessions was being, it was that room where it was recorded.
Wow. Okay, maybe if I can handle all the New York Cape Breton will be my next destination. That's what I should do. Well, I don't know.
Okay,
Go
so
to Korea, see my problem.
the plan for mics is to be ambient mic sound. So you don't have to have the mic into your instrument. We were going to try to turn them up and around so that it just picks up. If you want to draw it a little closer to you, that's fine, and we can adjust volume as we go to make sure the balance is not ridiculous. But the thought was that if we can have everything kind of at an ambient level, it's one, a little more authentic sounding, and two, a little easier for us to, you know, like say, bring up the left side of the table, or down the over. Now we're gonna bring up the right side of the table, you know, things like that. I don't really have any expectation for anybody to go on the mic to talk, but if you do want to do that, when you do, you need to have headphones on when you're in the microphone, and when you go to talk, you have to be almost so that your lips are touching the microphone, because otherwise they can't pick up the noise. They're really sensitive. And if you do, the volumes are right here and they're currently down. They're all color coded. So check and see what color your headphones are, and the color codes are over here to match. So someone can dial up for you, and you can go up, down, great, you know, up, down, great, that kind of thing. So that's the volume for the headphones, color coded. If you're gonna talk, that's totally fine. On the air, just make sure you've got headphones on when you do it. You can take them on and off. They don't have to stay on the whole time. I won't keep them on the whole time. You don't wear them while you're playing because we're just jamming. I don't want you to feel anybody to feel uncomfortable. Am I missing anything?
You have a Wi-Fi connection?
Yes. 8. It's the over there in the very corner. 893 KZUM Lincoln. Percent sign. Thank you.
Where is it?
Right side, right column, 3 pieces of paper down underneath.
Oh, got it.
Yep. Good. Question.
I've got most of it.
Do you have the website?
I don't know. Well, I've got a lot on there. And if I don't know about this one, I really don't know.
There is a 3-minute bit before I go on, and then to kick off the new year, we're gonna run the whole theme song.
Okay.
Which is like 4.5 minutes. We're just gonna play the whole thing.
Yeah, well, see if I can figure
So there's plenty of time. Everybody know where the bathrooms are? How to get there? Okay.
Okay, where's the
Cool.
It's the little third piece of paper down right under the phone.
893
Oh, there you
KZUM.
Special thanks to Maria Cardinal, Julie Crosby, Miriam Varner, Brendan Allen, Hugh Grant, and all those who helped us.
I can't believe we're doing this. This is wild.
All music by the late Saharaui singer, Mariam Hassan. I'm Amy Goodman.
Hi, my name's Diana. This is KZUM Lincoln and KZUM HD.
Is it a crime for you to sign another person's name to a letter in order to obtain their vote?
Yes, that's a literal federal
In
crime.
the case of the fellow,
That is like the biggest federal crime.
today's point of Senator Willoughby Wilson had been in politics most of his life. He was an enthusiastic supporter of his party and liked to help others.
Green button to the left. Green button to the left.
One of his protégés was having a tough battle in this district. The senator was friendly with the governor. They often got political favors for each other. Willoughby
Yeah, those
told one of
magnets
his
are
aides
very
to call the governor and ask his
Hello,
permission to use his
hello,
name.
welcome.
Kids.
Here around the table.
Reported back. He said,
Happy New Year. It's good to see you. I didn't expect you to show. That's so great.
much here.
All right.
Well, I was listening to you and
Oh yeah.
I heard my name and I went, okay, I gotta go down and do it again.
Thank you. And it's good because I brought my guitar and I was like, oh no, I might have to do rhythm backing for some stuff, but now we got a guitar, so I'm less concerned.
Duplicated on all letters, which were promptly met.
Your guitar's in better shape than mine is.
That wasn't the end of that.
Yeah. No, no. That's a fun one.
That is a fun one.
The highlight of my holiday season this one.
So what's gonna happen, I'm gonna play the whole, our theme song to kick off the year, and then we'll come on and start jamming. So this gives us some opportunity, once the music starts and I get off the mic, to figure out maybe there's something that we all can agree on to start playing with, so.
Listen local. KZUM Lincoln and KZUM HQ.
But there might be a lot of just ambient, talking.
So.
Do we have what? Yes, there might be one out in the hallway, and then Jennifer knows where the other chairs like she is sitting on, so whatever works.
Can
help you find one.
All right, 10 seconds.
Hi.
Hi there.
Going on. Here we go. On air. Happy New Year, Thunderheads, and welcome to a new year and a new episode of Thunder on the Plains. I'm your host, Lady Susan, as always, bringing you the best that Celtic music has to offer from right here in good old Lincoln, Nebraska. And we are kicking off 2019 with a bang, with a live here in the KZUM studio jam session, traditional Celtic jam session. We've got 5 musicians so far. We're going to have loads more, so you're going to want to sit back, relax, and enjoy the hour. We're also live streaming on Facebook. You can check that out at facebook.com/thunderontheplains. I thought I don't play the whole thing very often, so why don't we kick off the show with Lady Susan, our theme song, in its entirety. Here we go. Okay, Andrew, I've got the 20s queued up and ready to go. And still the bottom of the hours are there. Oh, hi!
Susan.
How are you? I didn't know you were coming. Are you jamming? Or just sitting?
I'm sitting.
Oh, then I might
Happy
have
New Year.
you kind of be a backup for the thing so Andrew doesn't have to panic in case.
If I can be helpful, I'll be happy to be helpful.
Well, do you want to pull up a chair over here by me and then I can play too some? And I
Okay,
don't have to
sure,
feel like I have to
sure,
manage mics.
Sure. I clicked going, but I didn't do it immediately. I must have did
Oh,
it after,
that's
someone
fine.
afterwards and stuff. So.
And we have a live stream going, so just a heads up for you on that.
Okay. I would have combed my head.
Does everybody know Jack Hart's? Jack the Hearts. He does Sound and Vision on Thursday, Wednesday
at 6
morning.
Thanks for helping me out with the hats.
Sure, Joe.
What do we want to start off with? I thought it'd be cool if we started off with something that like everybody was fairly well familiar with, or at the very least could, you know, pluck along a little bit to something pretty common.
Start out with the polkas, or
What's your crowd thinks that both the chair.
There's one John Ryan's.
well, we usually do
Yeah.
both of them together. We start with Dennis Murphy's and we go to John Ryan's.
Would you be okay if we flipped it a little bit, like fast? when I say click.
Oh, sure, yeah, and I could just strum.
Yeah, that would be good.
Okay,
Sure.
so she's chording, she's playing chords and I'm playing chords.
Yeah, but she's doing it on auto harp.
Yeah, but sometimes I play different chords.
Oh, okay.
I'll try not to.
Okay. Do
Okay.
you want to come around and get it a little closer to a microphone?
No,
Okay.
I'm annoying the poor fiddle player.
Also, I can flip this
I
sucker
don't think you
around.
need a lot of guitar.
Okay.
It's pretty loud on its
Okay.
own. It'll be plenty of droning.
I'm gonna take this one. Well, no, you're gonna want it for helping sounds while we play.
I did tune,
I'm gonna
this
take
morning.
red,
And then
but stop me when I start twiddling with that because I will definitely be doing that. I have the 20s already lined up and queued. I've got 3 emergency tracks to play at the bottom as needed, and another emergency CD and 4 to just, if there's, something happens and we gotta go to music right away, 4 is there to just fire and ready to go.
Can you just rearrange the songs so that you just pull them up in order?
This is the cart book.
So 40s and 40s are up already.
20s and 40s and then also hard.
Yeah, but it requires
That's why
lots
there's
of
so
programming.
many,
Oh.
so.
Yeah, I do
Which
storage.
what order are we doing it in? Are we doing
D?
John Ryan and then
Yeah,
Dennis
we're hoping-
Murphy's?
yeah, we're hoping to-
3 times through?
Or
No,
do
which
we-
one
no, we do
first?
Dennis Murphy's first.
So let's do Dennis Murphy's first.
And
Okay.
D, and then how many times?
3 times through.
Three times.
Like a good old session does.
Okay, three Dennis and 3 times, okay.
Alright, I'm gonna turn the mics on and I'll do some introductions here.
Okay.
Alright, Lady Susan by Joseph Carmichael. For more details on his music, visit josephcarmichael.bandcamp.com. Hopefully it will be really cool. We've been chatting about maybe having him in 2019 live in the studio. It's a long way from Texas, so we'll see what we can do here. Alright, if you are just tuning in, we are having a live Irish jam session here in the studio. Lincoln and Omaha actually host Irish sessions monthly, and we have those events on our Facebook page as well. The Omaha one especially has been getting a lot of surprising attention on social media. So that thing is going to be hopping, I think, in 2019. And then there's also a lot of information out there on those events for the Omaha and the Lincoln sessions. So if you're unfamiliar with what an Irish session is like as compared to maybe another different genre or a different kind of jam session that you've gone to, there is a little bit of a different structure to Irish and Celtic jam sessions as opposed to other sessions. Doesn't mean that you're not welcome. If people are welcome, but it is a different feel. So we don't want anybody to go, say to an Irish session and then feel like, oh my gosh, this is so different from anything I've ever done before. So there's a bunch of different folks here, and there's going to be some more musicians showing up here in a little bit. I think I saw a car coming into the driveway. Oh, that might not have been for us. So we are live streaming here on our Facebook page, facebook.com/ThunderIslandPlays. Everybody wave. Hey.
Hi.
And everybody is sitting around the table here in the KZUM studio. I've got the mics turned up, and we are just going to play some tunes. I have the Jack of Hearts kind of ghosting there in the little corner. You want to say hi?
Good afternoon, everyone.
He was a very pleasant surprise because for those of you who know me, I'm also an Irish musician, and I was sitting here pondering ahead of time, oh, how am I going to balance mics and get a chance to play in a jam session that I love doing at the same time? And now he's going to be able to kind of have an ear out for the levels as well, so we're not blowing your ears out while we play. So
I do what I can.
thank you very much. So we're going to start off with a couple of tunes that everybody in the room seems to be pretty well familiar with. It's going to start off with a couple of polkas that are very common in traditional Irish sessions. This first one is called Dennis Murphy's, and then it's going to go into a polka called John Ryan's polka that has an anecdote that maybe my husband won't want me to share later, so we'll see. All right, who's going to count us off? Start us off, Josh. Here we go.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Thank
Show that I've ever had before, and I'm so excited. So if you're just tuning in, this is a live Irish jam session here at the KZUM studios, kicking off the new year with Irish and Celtic musicians from the Lincoln community. Thank you all for being here. We're going to be playing some tunes, figuring out what we want to play, and if you want more information about what an Irish session is, go to our events that are for the Lincoln and Omaha monthly sessions. There's a great link in those events series that explain what an Irish session is and give you a little bit more details about if that's something you would be interested in. So as people are coming in and out and getting instruments going, there's going to be a lot of chatter that you're going to hear throughout the rest of this hour. I don't want you to feel like this is something that is, awkward or unplanned. This is absolutely how a session goes. Folks are listening and talking to each other right now, and musicians, feel free to figure out what you want to play next as I'm talking on the microphone. I don't want anybody to feel like, I'll turn the mics down a little bit so y'all can figure out what you want to play next. But this is really what happens. People are in a pub and they're getting drinks and they're, taking sips, they're literally wetting their whistles in between sets of tunes, and then just kind of what is called sharing of the track, or sharing the good times with one another. So they're finding songs that they can play in common. Maybe someone will come and start a tune, and then other folks know that tune. They will tune in and play it. Maybe if people don't know that tune, they'll sit back and listen, and hopefully by the end of the few times through that it gets played as the session goes, maybe they can pick up some notes or phrases in that particular tune. So that just tells a little bit about what a session, how it kind of goes, but we wanted, it's more than just about telling you how a session goes. We wanted to give you the full opportunity to listen to how a session goes as well. So we're going to be, people will be switching instruments, people will be switching tunes. Looks like we might have a dancer coming in our midst here as well. We are live streaming on our Facebook page, facebook.com/SouthernOnThePlains, so feel free to watch that live stream either now live or after the episode is over. We'll keep that up. And then we're just going to keep going. And then if we need to take some breaks, we are going to be taking some breaks here and there for the official stuff, because it is still a radio program. And then we're just going to have a good time. So do we know what we want to play next? What are we thinking?
Players don't matter too much.
She was suggesting Drowsy Maggie.
Sure, what are we going to go with Drowsy Maggie? Coolies? We can do Coolies or Drowsy Maggie. I like that one.
Yeah.
I usually play with Coolies first.
Okay, you find Coolies. I've got it in here somewhere.
Oh man, when I play, I get the stumbles with that.
I'm trying to find it. I know I have it. Here's Coolies. I think I'm just doing chords on this one.
I better tune a little.
We're doing this one.
So I discovered a thing. I've been playing the button accordion, and I just discovered the definition, like this term called wet versus dry tuning in the button accordion. Have you heard of it?
I've not heard of it. No.
Okay, so wet versus dry tuning is like how the reeds are tuned to one another. So like in a concertina or an accordion, there's 2 to 3 sets of reeds, and how precisely each pair of reeds or each set of reeds is tuned to one another depends on is how the style of the accordion sounds. So back in the early 20th century, the accordions often were created by Italian makers, and the Italian tuning had like very much a dissonance to the tuning of the reeds, and they called that a wet tuning. And then the British and the Irish tended to start tuning their reeds more and more in line, very, very exactly, and that became a drier tuning, and that's what concertinas are very, very dry tuning. And now there's this huge debate in button accordions about wet or dry, or the middle, which is called swing tuning. And so I sit here and I go, man, I should make sure my flute is in tune. I'm like, nah, I don't have to worry about it. It's not that big a deal. All right, so who wants to start us off here?
Are we starting with, I'm just gonna
Let's
do
do,
chords.
yeah, let's do Coolies and then go to Drowsy
Okay.
Maggie. Yeah, okay. You want me to do it?
Sure.
More up tempo than I thought it would be. You're listening to Thunder on the Plains here on 89.3 KZUM Lincoln and KZUM HD. I am your host, Lady Susan. Happy New Year. We're going to take a quick break and we will be right back with our live in-studio jam session here at KZUM to kick off this new year. Thank you. You are a huge help.
Took a minute.
Oh, this is good. This is good. Seriously though, when the mics are on, feel free to chatter. Like, yeah, I mean.
So what do you want to do next?
I'll tell you when the mics are coming back on. Matt, let's put this yellow. Let's point that a little bit more in your direction.
what, yeah, any other,
Jennifer, I am gonna tilt the red down just a little bit, just for the heart. Yeah, to pick up more.
vocal songs? We have a vocal song?
I don't know that one, buddy.
Matt, do you wanna do a vocal?
I could.
I would rather if we did a vocal that it was a sing along, that everybody knew.
Oh,
so let's see if we can get a couple of more instrumentals in. Is there any ones that most people know, or?
The Friends of Wilderness Park is a non-profit organization committed to preserving the long-term sustainability.
I've read my wife.
Education.
Oh, Blarney Pilgrimage to Out on the Ocean is
Find
fun.
out more about the.
That is a good one.
Out on the ocean, is that?
I don't, okay.
Do I know that is another, the port road thing?
Let's see.
Probably.
Why don't you get
Like,
one?
were you thinking of doing something with them?
I'll get one.
Yep, learning program is in G. You can also do that, like, mouse on mouse. Let's do it and go into Blarney Program.
Let's start with Blarney Pilgrim. Does that work?
What?
Can we start with
10
Blarney
seconds.
Are you getting on the ocean?
How many seconds?
Yeah, I'm going on.
10 seconds.
10
10 seconds.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
You gotta bring up.
So we're figuring out what we want to play next here on 89.3 KZUM, Lincoln and KZUM HD, and our live in studio Celtic Jam session here on Thunder on the Plains, kicking off the new year. Did everybody have a good New Year's Eve celebration? Anybody do anything wild and wacky that you can share on the air? No. Everybody's
In bed by
really
10
quiet.
o'clock.
What was that?
In bed by 10.
In bed by 10. I was awake, but yeah.
Am I supposed to do this?
Oh, you can. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
It's fine, Marcia.
I actually,
Lean right into it.
I was actually at over
That's
at
okay.
Ashley's
Yeah.
house over there.
Oh yeah.
And I actually had an impromptu concert that I gave, and it got Facebook live streamed.
Oh no! Did you know that I told you that we're live streaming this one, right?
Yeah.
Sort of like
So-
D&G.
So those of you who are just tuning in, we are live streaming this jam session here at our Facebook page, facebook.com/Thunder on the Plains. If you're watching, you're sitting on the piano facing the direction of the studio and all the musicians sitting around the table here, and I think we decided a couple of jigs. Is that what we're gonna do next?
So you get some
Alright,
really strong
so-
solos, port road, out on the ocean.
Next couple of jigs is Blarney Pilgrim and then Out on the Ocean? Okay. Man, Blarney Pilgrim is three parts long. It's a marathon. Alright, starts off, buddy. for the past, Lord knows how many years it's been now, and does a really great job on Sundays of doing all the data entry and administrative stuff on the computer with the social media, so I can really focus on doing a show. So speaking of show, this is really not a performance. For those of you who might be tuning in, this is a live jam session, so that means these are folks, though some of us are in bands and have been in bands together, this isn't like a band of folks that are, are playing together on the regular, going to gigs and stuff. It is literally just folks in the community that have a love for this Irish music and come together because we're all kind of learning the same tunes within the tradition, and we're able to come together and find tunes that we all know or at least familiar with and play together as best we can. And that's the cool thing about an Irish jam session or a Celtic jam session is you can go all over the world and you can hop in on a session that is happening at a bar somewhere very unexpected and be able to play the same tunes or at least find some commonality in some of the tunes that you're playing with some of the other folks. For any of you guys that are here, I know that I've had a couple of very surprising connections or finding a session in surprising places or being surprised at how well I was able to pick up on tunes going somewhere else in the world. Do any of you guys have any experiences like that you can think of? Like, I know for me, the first time I ever went to a different session that I was familiar with was when a few years ago we went to Denver, Colorado, and I knew that there were a bunch of sessions out there in Denver, and so we went to one at a pub that was downtown and is no longer open, and they had the session happening in the back room, and I went back there and I was super nervous, so I sat in the back circle, and everybody was really friendly, but obviously I was an out-of-towner, so when you're an out-of-towner, you kind of listen and you follow what the regulars or how they lead. And I was surprised at how many tunes I was actually able to play, and it was cool to see like the regulars who didn't know who I was to kind of like have that look grow on their face, like, oh, this person knows what she's talking about, like she knows her stuff, and then they because they were able to recognize that, then they kind of relaxed and then said, well, do you have a couple of tunes? And I started playing some, and they, like, nobody started playing. And I was kind of panicking because I was like, do I stop? Since nobody else is playing. And then somebody else who was kind of sitting in the back circle, he had like a British accent, and he goes, oh, and he gets really excited, and he reaches down and grabs his accordion, which he hadn't been playing like the whole session. He starts playing the tune with me, and then everybody else like realizes, oh, this is a tune that none of us know, and so they all start leaning in and they start picking up the tune, and then when that tune ends, then I think I started into another one that everybody knew that was really common, and so everybody was playing that. But that was amazing to me to realize, like, oh, it really does happen. Like, you can go somewhere, and even if people don't know the tune that you're playing, there's probably someone somewhere in there that might be familiar with your tune, or they're interested in learning something as long as it's actually, a legitimate part of the tradition. And that guy thanked me. He said, I haven't played that tune in 20 years. It's such a good one. Josh, you look like you maybe had one. Did you have a story?
Yeah, I sure did. So I was recently in Canada for Celtic Colors.
Oh, because of course you were.
Yes. So we had taken a few days and visited Prince Edward Island.
Oh, Pete.
Yeah, beautiful place. So I went to a session there at one of their old triangle pubs.
Wait, old spelled A-U-L-D?
Correct.
Yay!
Yes. And I had a very interesting experience. As you know, down here in the States, two of the most common tunes that are played are the Kesh Jig and the Blackthorn Stick. Mm-hmm. And up there,
we should play those.
Yeah, we should.
Okay.
Yeah, that's awesome. So when it came to my turn, I think I did some E minor stuff for a while, and I just made those the last two.
Okay.
And then somebody to my left says, what was the name of the tune that you just played? And I said, the Blackthorn Stick. And the tune before that, they'd never heard of it.
Oh. Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, that's wild. And they were probably like, oh, I want to learn that. It's a really good tune.
Yeah, maybe the guy leading the jam had, but like the rest of them had no clue.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah.
Did you have that little pant where people not playing along and you're just like, oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no. So, oh, that's so funny. I hear that there's a couple of popular hornpipes that are played here in the States in sessions, Harvest Home and Boys of Blue Hill. and those are very common ground tunes here in America. But apparently, if you go to Ireland, the touristy session places cannot stand it because all the American tourists who might only know those two tunes because they've been learning it are so excited to go to an Irish pub and play in the session. And so everybody, like so many of them go over there and they're like, well, do you know a tune? Like, can we play Boys Blue Hill and Harvest Home? And they all go, not again, not again. Because those are foundational tunes for us here in the States. And so apparently they just fly right through those tunes. They play them as fast as they possibly can so they can get back to playing the tunes that they like to play. So
a very similar experience in Cape Breton, where the session doesn't really take place that often, but their jam sessions, if you want to call them that, are really based around the ceilidh and each individual functional parts of the ceilidh. So like the instrumentalists will ask the dancers how many rounds and so on and so forth. So going to these Scottish jams, which again don't happen, people mostly just wanted to play Irish too.
So they were at like a Cape Breton or Scottish-ish ceilidh, a little more Scottish style, but they were all playing Irish music.
Oh yeah.
That's funny. I love it. I love it. So for those of you who might not be super familiar with the Celtic styles of music, there are some distinct little genre differences between the Irish style of playing and the Scottish style of playing, and there's even kind of different libraries of tunes that are from those areas, including Cape Breton in Canada, which has developed its own style of Celtic music and sound and stylistic ways of playing. And so, but for us, it's whatever goes. Whatever we like, whatever we know together, we'll play. So let's get another set of tunes. How about we do that Cash Blackthorn?
Yeah, we got him. We got him.
We got him? All right.
Yeah, we're ready. Which we doing first?
Let's do Cash first. Is that usually, that's usually what we do, right? Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Oh, put him in the right order.
If you're gonna play flute, bring that closer to you because I have to bring the mic up to you.
Okay.
So, because I was like way up here with the flute, it doesn't carry very well. So, there you go.
That might be okay. It doesn't very well.
You know, that's what I was thinking when she moved the mic closer to me as well.
I like that.
Is this what the radio sounds like?
No,
No.
your mic, your headphones are way down.
Okay.
So I've got say when. You don't have to have them on though if you don't want to.
I'm just curious if that helps me to know, like, if I should be closer. For
Oh yeah. Well, how is your volume? Do you want up, down, good?
Put it up.
Say when.
That's good.
Yay! There you go. So this is now you're seeing behind the curtain, folks. Here we go, radio and in a jam session. Oh yeah, if we can get this to dance speed and we can clear a little bit of a path there, we might get Ashley to come and do some light jigging or single jigging. Ashley, so you move gently what you need to move, honey.
It's a banjo, you can't hurt it.
That's what you might have missed that. She was moving some cases so she didn't accidentally trip on anything. And somebody said, "That's a banjo, honey. You can't hurt it."
I know. Okay.
Although it's actually a bazooki.
Oh, we shouldn't start with the banjo and accordion jokes, or else we will never leave here. So here we go. Start us off, Josh. to a live Irish jam session here on New Year's Day on Thunder on the Plains at KZUM Studios. We're going to take a quick break and we're going to be right back with more live music right here in the studio. Stay tuned. This is going to be really good, you guys.
So the mist on the mountain.
Okay. Hopefully that is all making
Funny thing
sense.
is I do.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, very good.
That's interesting. Yeah,
I might adopt it myself.
I like doing it, and then even as I go, like when I'm
Was that not?
able to focus, I will remove stuff once it is
You said
playing,
Miss Cover
and
Mountain
just
and the
with
Low Banjo, and I said the Mugger Brown Ale before that, but we can just do these two.
how does Mother Brown Ale go?
That's
Oh yeah, that one's yours.
It's like where's the dance? Like it's the.
We'll see.
so these straight rails are not played slowly. These are jigs. Yeah. Oh, the jigs.
This Cover Mountain, for some reason, the version I've heard of that is played very slowly. It's a little sort of an air almost.
On the right
Maybe some
column,
different
3
tuning.
piece of paper down.
Yeah, I
It's
think
a wireless
that's it.
password.
Do you want to do that or do you should just?
Yeah, we can do it.
Yeah, John, I think the air and the jig are two different.
Oh, they just different tune.
There's 2
I
different
bet you
lines.
know it.
It was in one of my beginning projects, so I don't remember it.
What key are you doing this in? This
This
is A minor, but the lilting banshee is in A. Unless they have something different.
Well, I'll let them play on it.
Well, we'll see what they do. Last time
Miss Cover Mountains.
And that's two parts or three?
That is 2 parts.
Oh,
One
Mist
is-
on the Mountain.
Yeah, on the second.
Oh,
Yeah,
is that an A
different
minor?
tail down here, so.
Mist on the Mountains. Yeah, A minor.
And then what is the banshee one in? I have that in
That was.
A.
That's also
Quick
A
question, do
minor.
we want to close out with Auld Lang Syne playing it, or do we want to just let me close out the hour by having Doogie play it?
Wait, what was that?
Auld Lang Syne. What, Doogie or us?
All the solo works.
I think we should play it.
We should
Yeah.
play it.
Do
Why
it.
not?
Okay.
Don't sing it.
Yeah,
Okay.
put it on new show. Hit with the other one.
We'll just make sure that the top of the hour is ready to go.
10 seconds.
Indeed. What was he?
Indeed.
Okay, well, I went out there yet, so.
Oh, no, not right now.
Yeah, where are we playing?
Everybody's like, we're gonna do this thing now? No, we're not doing
I
it.
know that was.
We're gonna do these two here?
Do it in D. I think it's
We usually do that when
I
in
think
D.
we're doing the jigs.
More jigs.
Yeah, we'll close it out.
It's all jigs tonight. Okay, this is jigs.
Well, we only have an hour, John. We only have an hour.
You could throw some Scottish tunes that way.
You folks are
A real,
listening to Thunder on the
a real,
Plains here at
a
89.3
real.
KZUM and KZUM with our live, we're back with our live Irish jam session in studio. This is how it goes, folks. It's a wonderful, doesn't get more authentic than this, except if we were actually at a pub and not in a radio station with microphones completely in our faces and equipment everywhere. Maybe it would be a little more authentic if this wasn't here, but you can't get much more authentic than this on a radio show, folks. Thank you again to the musicians for coming in. We've got John and Josh and Matt and Becky and Marcia and Jennifer and Ashley as our dancer. We've got Jack helping out on the mics and Andrew helping out with the numbers in the back. Did I get any names wrong? That's my biggest horrifying fear, is that I know people for decades and then I say the wrong name. I'm turning into my best. Okay, so what? Someone remind me. What are we playing?
We might be playing Mist Covered Mountains with the Lilting Banshee.
Mist Covered Mountains with the little team band.
That might be happening.
They're in A minor.
In A
A
minor.
minor.
We might drop out for the second.
So those are the ones you've played those, right? Okay.
We played them together, believe it or not, in front of people.
And I can never remember it. Okay, so you're gonna start it off here. I don't know what it is about those tunes, but I love how it takes you like 1 or 2 runs in. Oh yeah, that's how that. And that's, you know, it makes you wonder, like, is that why they play 3 times through usually? But the worst part is when you're learning a new tune and you pick it up in a session, and by the 3rd time through, you're like, I think I got it. And then it goes to the next tune. Yeah. So you've been listening to an authentic Irish jam session, or as authentic as we can get it here in the studio of KZUM for Thunder on the Plains, kicking off the new year. Thanks again to all of our musicians. If you out there thought this was really cool and you would like to check something like this out, there are 2 Irish sessions happening in our neck of the woods on a monthly basis. There's a monthly session that happens in Lincoln. We're waiting to finalize all the details on that. For 2018, it was the 2nd Thursday of every month, and we're hoping that that can still be the case, but I just can't confirm just yet, and I will as soon as I'm able. And then we have confirmed that the session for Omaha has been extended through the entirety of 2019, and that is the 2nd Sunday of every month up in Omaha. We have all the details on our Facebook page, including locations and information about what an Irish session is like and what these sessions are kind of like, and any pertinent details you might need to know for those specific sessions. So it's just a really great opportunity for folks, even if you don't play these instruments, to go and support Irish music in your community. It is very, very important that the local community supports the Celtic musicians in that, and that can be as simple as listening to the music, going out to the sessions, going to the pubs, going to concerts when people come in. It is very, very easy. You don't have to be this, you don't have to be a DJ that comes in twice a week to do a radio show for 10 years. Let me tell you. It really just takes the community supporting. There's no way that all of these musicians would be able to be here today if not for the support of the community. And we would not be able to provide you folks with this opportunity of having a live Irish session in the KZUM studio without your continued support. So thank you from all of us in the Irish and Celtic music community. Thank you from the KZUM community. Thank you for all of your support in all of the many, many myriad of ways that you show support for community music in your community, because all of this style of music, Irish and other Celtic forms of music, really formulated around the community itself, and they would not be here without the generations of folks just getting together and sharing the crack and sharing the camaraderie with one another that this takes. So I think we're going to close out with the traditional...
Oh, too late.
Too late. We're too late?
We wanted to shoot extra more, but so they would know that there was a gentle song in the Irish
Oh,
repertoire.
a gentle, okay, yeah. We have a little bit of time. We can do that. Let's do it 2 times through. Does that work?
Okay.
All right. So we are going to play Shebeg Shamor, which is a traditional waltz song. It's, yeah, it's just a very beautiful, beautiful Irish tune written by Turlough O'Carolan, who is one of the most popular Irish composers of the 18th century. So who's going to kick us off here? everybody. Thanks again so much for tuning in to Thunder on the Plains here on 89.3 KZUM Lincoln and KZUM HD. We're going to close out with a very Scottish popular tune written by Robert Burns.
Robbie Burns.
Robbie Burns. His birthday is January 25th, which is a Friday this year. I'm going to get the accordion out. Oh gosh!
So
I think accordion versus table. Who will win? Are we doing this in D?
D.
Alright, should we just, do we want to do an instrumental round and then sing it? Will that work?
Sure, we're doing the.
No, let's just do the regular version. There's an older style, folks, and then there's the one that you all know that you sang.
Okay.
Alright, folks, but before we close out, let's go ahead and do our cheer. Raise those glasses high in the air. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, whether that glass is full or empty, real or imaginary. Unless you're driving, folks, both hands on that wheel, very safe. Everybody else raise them up, and on the count of 3, here we go. A hang, do, tree. Sláinte! Oh, that was such a wonderful sláinte. Thank you. Thanks so much for joining us, folks, for 2019. Come and sing along with us as we do Auld Lang Syne. Who's starting us off here? Am I doing this? Oh no! Happy New Year. Here's to a wonderful 2019. To all of you folks out there, thanks again for all the musicians for coming in here and tuning in and for joining us here in the studio. Could not be here without your support. So thanks again so much. We're going to close out. I am going to be here. I'm going to stick around because I'm going to be filling for Hurry Home here for the next hour. So don't touch that dial. But as for Thunder on the Plains, we'll see you folks on Tuesday. Cheers. Cheers. Cheers.
That was rather fun, really.
The CNN headline says the full lyrics to Auld Lang Syne, so you don't.
Yay! It wasn't a train wreck! It was not a train wreck.
It was great.
I think they were watching our podcast.
Okay, and you all can stay here if you want to chill. I'm just gonna need like when I go on to talk about Hardy Show, then we'll bring it down.
I didn't realize Hardy wasn't coming in. I was going, man, Hardy's really cut my clothes.
No, yeah, no kidding. No kidding.
Well, that was a good
Do you have an extra one? I have one.
Oh, what I need? Oh no, I need my
I think
speaker, and then you know what he's going to be playing.
Do you want to
Yeah. Just trying to figure that out.
What?
The Auld Lang Syne, the last song.
Oh, let's let it run for a little bit, yeah. Like I gotta get started first.
Here, I'll just see you too.
That was fun. Thanks for the invitation.
Thank you so much.
Oh, I
Oh, grab we have a holiday photo and some
There's a
stickers.
hand
So.
crusty friends. This is
I was working on it.
I need to look at my messenger. What?
Take a
What song?
like and we'll take a like a Willy Wop or something.
30 seconds?
Are you playing in disco?
Yeah.
I wonder if that's kind of
I've got that.
And yourself? It's been a holiday season. Holiday things.
10 seconds, I'm gonna go on. Sorry.
We're one to jam.
I know.
That's a hard song, but I think we're
Going on?
Oh. Bong, bong, bong. Man, this recording of Big Ben.
Hey folks, I am not Hardy. I'm Lady Susan with Thunder on the Plains, but you are listening to New Year's Day special of Strawberry Fields Forever. Yeah, I've listened to his opening music and I love it every time it comes in. Are you like me and you love hearing his theme song and his intro every week? Yes. So we can't miss out on another episode of Strawberry Fields. Hey, at least for a while. And Hardy actually picked out a wonderful set list of music for this special hour. So I'm gonna just kind of sit back, relax, and let the music flow. If you want to follow along with what the tracks are as they're going on, we're just gonna pop in now and then to let you know what you're hearing. But for the most part, we're just gonna let the music play. So if you want to follow along to what you're listening to as you're hearing it, go to KZUM.org and listen along. We are going to kick off the hour with our legend has it that this was either the first or one of the first songs that was played when KZUM started broadcasting over 20 years ago now, or over 40 years ago now. Oh my goodness. It is the Beatles with Here Comes the Sun.
Should have our Irish session play this one. I think we all know it, don't we? I can't imagine we can't work our way through it.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Hey, Susan. Susan.
Yeah.
I think it was actually Richie Havens' version of Here Comes the Sun.
Oh really? It wasn't the Beatles.
Just throwing it out there. That's what other people told me. I heard about it.
It'll be pretty obvious as soon as it comes on.
Teaching 3 different schools.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of driving.
Just covering other folks, or are you sort of a part-time guy all over the place?
I've become a part-time guy. I used to be full-time in UNL.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
G-sharp.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I think that happens.
For some reason, I got Irish session time on this.
Certainly with my understanding of it, I have a lot of friends in academia. Sure. And the two things that I get from it is there can be a lot of money for people that make it. And the other is there can be a lot of departmental politics as well, a shocking amount of it.
Well, it's convenient to cut me loose, basically. I think grad students are doing the classification.
I suspect that's very true. Yeah, that seems to be, that was one of the other things about
Maybe someday. You're so
the amount of
on Thursdays are more open, but Mondays are one put up to this busy. Yeah, I leave the house at 6:30 in the morning and I come back until you're done.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, with slander my name all over the place.
And then of course, you know,
That's so much.
oh no, it's great. Yeah. Pleasure to hear you all, by the way.
Hi, Dad.
I couldn't come to the next one because we can't.
Thank you all for tuning in today. We really do appreciate it. Thanks for making it to the end. I can't believe that worked. It really worked. If you want to see some more live streams, please do let us know. Comment below. Comment below if you watched to the end. I want to know how many people did. And maybe we'll do a giveaway for those who said that they did. Who knows? Anyway, Happy New Year. Have a wonderful 2019. I'm wishing you all the best. Thanks again for tuning in, Thunderheads. We'll see you next time. Oh, no, that was... Sorry, Lamar.
My